At Volkswagen Lease Summit, car buying's as easy as 1, 2, 3. All our new cars are priced to lease at $199, $299, or $399 a month. Plus, we have rates as low as 1.9% for 60 months and used cars for every budget. We make car buying easy. Get to VWLeaseSummit.com.
7:05, and Harrison Butker is still getting beat up by Hollywood goobers. This time it is, on a Tuesday morning, Katy Perry getting in on the mix, John.
She was about to become irrelevant.
I know. She was so close.
I think she quit the America's Got Talent or whichever one of those ones she does.
Was she doing one of those dopey shows?
One with Lionel and Luke Bryan.
American Idol.
American Idol.
She was doing American Idol.
Yeah,
Gosh, goes to show you how little regular TV I watch these days.
Good for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, good for me is right.
I see so much of it, I confused it. So I'm not much help on the other end.
So Katy Perry was on the verge of irrelevancy, but decided, you know what, I got to get my woke credentials in here.
Yeah, before we forget, Harrison made a speech.
Yeah, exactly right. We're going back 3.5 weeks now. I guess it took her team a little bit to put this together. And she shared a doctored version of Harrison Butker's commencement speech where she spliced words to portray a very different message than, of course, what Harrison Butker was portraying. And she shared this on Instagram, did Katy Perry, with the following caption: "Fixed this for my girls, my graduates, and my gays. You can do anything. Congratulations and happy Pride." Okay, I'm beyond confused on Harrison Butker's speech incorporating Pride Month. I mean, you know, he is a staunch Catholic speaking at a Catholic college who probably and clearly does feel differently about Pride Month than Katy Perry does, but even the criticism of Harrison Butker had nothing to do with gays or homosexuality or anything like that. So I'm not quite sure how Katy Perry is weaving this all together. But anyway, here is the spliced up version of what Katy Perry put on Instagram, a doctored version of Harrison Butker's speech from Benedictine a few weeks ago. And here we go.
Ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? I would venture to guess the women here today are going to lead successful careers in the world. I say all of this to you because I have seen it firsthand, how much happier someone can be supporting women and not saying that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. The road ahead is bright. Things are changing, society is shifting, and people young and old are embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion. With that said, I want to say happy Pride Month to all of you, and congratulations, class of 2024.
Yep, that's Katy Perry doctoring Harrison Butker's speech from Benedictine a couple of weeks ago and posting that on Instagram last night. How absolutely shameless is that?
The DEI part was very smooth. Very smooth on the edit.
A little choppy, but okay. Mark, the producer in him, is impressed by the ability to doctor up the DEI line there at the end by Katy Perry or her team. There's no way Katy Perry's sitting on her phone or her, she's sitting on Adobe Audition, splicing and dicing that whole thing.
The Pride Month part was terrible, though.
It was,
That was awful.
Just ridiculous. So the line that really stood out to me, obviously what she did there, or what her team did there, is try to take Harrison Butker's speech and make it mean the opposite of what it meant. But the line that stood out there is when she made Harrison Butker say that women should not be most excited about being married and their children. And isn't that Hollywood in a nutshell in many respects? It's how they live their lives. It's how they want you to ideally live your life as well. You know, the kids, your marriage, put that all to the side. Do whatever you want to do. Everything is about you. Everything is about your ego. Everything is about what makes you happy in that moment. Live a life of indulgence today. Do not worry about tomorrow. Do not worry about your kids. Do not worry about any of that. Just worry about living your best life today. Whatever makes you happy today is all that should matter in your life. Take it day by day, have this paganistic approach to everything that you do, and you'll be happy. That's more or less the message from Hollywood at large. And Katy Perry delivered that message on her Instagram yesterday. And I don't care who you are, your background, your race, your political orientation. I don't care what your preferences are sexually. I don't care about any of that. If you're married and you don't think that relationship is the most important thing in your life, along with your children, then you're setting yourself up to fail. And you're also putting highly unimportant things in the grand scheme of things well higher on the list than they should be. And that was Harrison Butker's message. Of course, it's been corrupted over the last 3+ weeks, but that was Harrison Butker's message. His message was, and he said it at the time, of course, it got lost in all the criticism, but he goes on to say, I'm sure many of you are going to have successful careers. He said that in his speech. But I'm sure you are most excited, he says, at a Catholic college, as a staunch Catholic, about your future life as wives and as mothers, because there's no more important job. And then what does he do less than 5 minutes later in his speech? He talks about the importance of men being fathers. That caveat got lost. No one ever played that part of Harrison Butker's commencement speech because it didn't fit the narrative. The narrative was Harrison Butker talks down to women. When what Harrison Butker really did for the umpteenth time is promote family from a female perspective and a male perspective, and highlight the fact that there is nothing more important than being a husband, than being a wife, than being a father, than being a mother. But you know what? The Hollywood elites don't like that messaging. That messaging is not certainly conducive to how many of them have lived their lives. That's very obvious. Just look at Katy Perry. I mean, Katy Perry was married to Russell Brand for like a minute, and she's been with Orlando Bloom for almost a decade, and they're still only engaged. You got to love that. The old, we're on a decade-long engagement, one of those ridiculous things that seems far too common, by the way, across the board. So, that's how she's chosen to live her life. More power to her. But someone like Harrison Butker getting on a stage and professing his love and admiration for his wife, Katy Perry wishes she had that. And that's why jealousy is in large part the name of the game as well. And that's why you're seeing so many of these individuals come out so staunchly against Harrison Butker's message. Because if they had their way when it comes to, the politics of the day, when it comes to the way many in corporate America want you to view your life and see your life, they want you to be single, miserable, and slaves to them, rather than living a life of fulfillment that Harrison Butker talked about at Benedictine a few weeks ago, and living a life that is bigger than you and a life that is bigger than whatever's going on in your life in that moment during that day. And children and spouses do that in a way that jobs and appeasing yourself as a single person do not. So Katy Perry, the latest one that tried to take a shot at Harrison Butker, and for those who have actually watched the speech, it fell flat on its face. And what it has to do with Pride Month, I still can't figure out. But you know what? I'm not going to go down that road right now. 7:14 on a Tuesday here on KCMO Talk Radio.
At Volkswagen Lease Summit, car buying's as easy as 1, 2, 3. All our new cars are priced to lease at $199, $299, or $399 a month. Plus, we have rates as low as 1.9% for 60 months and used cars for every budget. We make car buying easy. Get to VWLeaseSummit.com.